Good evening, freshmen and sophomores and parents of underclassmen. This is an exciting night because this is Academy Endeavor's first webinar specifically for the underclassmen. And this fires me up because you guys are in the trenches. You freshmen and sophomores, you might not know it yet. You think you're young, but I'll tell you, right around the corner, you will be there filling out your academy applications, your congressional nominations. It flies by. We are going on our fourth admissions cycle of helping young people get into the academies. I can't even believe it. The time just flies by. We're also excited because not only is this timely for you to get this knowledge, but also we firmly believe that the action steps you're taking now is actually where you win. The link between action step as a freshman and a sophomore is direct to whether you get an academy appointment. And so we want to equip you now while you have time. Let me just compare you to our Academy Endeavors cohort that are seniors right now. They're finding out with their appointments and their nominations. And fortunately for them, a lot of them are doing really, really, really well. But the point is they don't have any time left. There's no time to improve. The time was yesterday for them. It is decision time on whether they get in or not. But you guys, there is something you can do about it with this knowledge. And so that's why we're targeting you all, because we believe that this is very valuable information for you to do something with it and potentially change your future and get your dream. We know that this process that we go through each year with academy applicants is daunting. It's overwhelming for families. I remember I went through it myself back in 2003. I was a 2003 high school grad, a 2007 Air Force Academy grad. So going through this in the early 2000s with my family, not quite knowing where to start, it can be daunting. It can be overwhelming. We've had some good fortune through this process. We believe we've come up with something that really works for young people, and all across the country, there are our cohort mates are celebrating the success that they've had this year, last year, and the year before. In the last three admission cycles, 100% of our clients have earned congressional nominations, and over 90+% have won an academy appointment and/or a full tuition ROTC scholarship. What we say tonight, we believe will directly benefit you and your goals. Okay, so here's what we want you to do. Stop the multitasking. All right. Take down the other windows that you got open and focus on what we're telling you tonight. Focus and get out a pen and paper, Academy Endeavors webinar style, and take notes, because that is going to be muscle memory that you're going to go back to and remember over and over and over again. We have one slide to show you. We don't have 15 slides. Okay. We got one slide to show you tonight. So you can go ahead and take a picture of that slide or whatever, but that's not going to tell you all the detail that you need to know. There's going to be a lot of nuggets in here, and we want them to be personalized to you. So write down the things that matter to you. Now that I have your attention, here's the one thing that I want you to remember. The number one advantage you have is time. And you must use your time strategically to maximize your chances. The seniors, like I said, they're done. The juniors, a lot of what they're doing has been locked in already. They already have 6 semesters or 5 semesters under their belt. Okay, it's very difficult to move the needle on a GPA when you already have 5 semesters under the belt. But you all, you got time. Okay, and with that comes a responsibility and an opportunity to turn it around and make the most of it. All right, we're also excited because tonight we are launching our Underclassman program for 2023. All right, so it's the beginning of the year. We're launching our Underclassman program. We're going to take 50 families through an in-depth assessment in the Underclassman program where you can have confidence and clarity that you are on track. There are families before you that have gone through this, and we've been getting amazing feedback on how this is helping young people take the next step with clarity and confidence. And so tonight you will have the chance to secure your spot to be one of the 50, and we will actually put a link. In fact, we're going to do that now because we have 6 slots available for you all to sign up to do a one-on-one with Academy Endeavors. to discuss the Underclassman program. We're offering it Wednesday night, this Wednesday, so it's only a couple nights from now, so that you can take the next step forward. So if you have a parent with you, bring them on with you to the webinar, and also it's required that you bring them with you to the one-on-one when you book the appointment, because this is a family thing. You're not going through this alone. No one gets through the academy alone, and parents are huge in this process. So their knowledge is important as well. All right, so what are we going to be talking about tonight over the next 45 minutes? First, we're going to give you a timeline. We're going to give you a timeline of what you can expect over your high school years on the requirements for academy, nomination, and ROTC admissions, as well as what you should be doing now and what you should be your key focus areas your freshman and your sophomore year leading up to the critical junior and senior years where you're filling out your application. All right. Second, we're going to tell you where most underclassmen struggle. And we're going to provide solutions for those common problems. All right. And then third, we will do live Q&A. All right. We do that every webinar, and we will get through as many questions as we can with the time we have. We'll get through as much as we can to help you all. This is our passion. This is what we love to do. This is not a side gig for us. This is what we do 24/7. So here is the freshman and sophomore timeline. Now on your left-hand side, requirements, or the boxes, the rectangles, organized by academy, nomination, ROTC, and then underclassmen action steps. All right. And on the bottom, the blue arrow that goes across to the right is organized by semester and summer of your entire high school years. Okay. First, starting on the lower left-hand corner, for your underclassmen years, to prepare for what you're about ready to undergo, your second semester, starting your second semester junior year, is where all the applications open. Okay. So at that point in time, what do you need to do? The game is, what do you need to do to be ready so that when those applications open, you are ready to go and you have the best version of yourself ready for admissions to view. Okay, so working backwards from the summer going into your senior year, what do you need to be doing now? So I'm going to start with freshmen. So for freshmen, there's 3 critical areas that will significantly help you. Okay, the first is you need to excel in honors and AP courses. All right. So first, that word excel, here's the reality. Your entire high school transcript is going to be analyzed. Yes, it's a little bit more important to do better in your sophomore classes and your junior classes and your senior. The most recent classes are weighted a little bit more heavily, but the bottom line is your entire high school transcript is going to go to the academies to be viewed. All right. So your cumulative GPA matters, not just your most recent GPA from your junior year, your senior year. Your cumulative GPA, as soon as high school starts, it's on. All right. So excelling, getting A's is very important. All right. Second, so keep your eye on the ball there. Second is with the AP and honors portion of that action step. As soon as possible, you should be transitioning into advanced classes, challenging classes. All right. Because not only on the transcript they'll be looking at your performance in classes, but they will be looking at the types of classes you are taking. So you want to be taking the most challenging courses available to you. All right. And it also matters the types of courses that are taking. I'll give you one example. Common pitfalls that in math, folks, it takes a little bit too long for them to realize that they're actually 1 year behind their peers. And here's what I mean. You should be taking calculus your senior year, at least. Maybe even calculus 2, but you should be taking calculus. That means if it goes geometry, algebra, geometry, algebra 2, pre-calc, calc, well, you should be on track right now to be taking calc by your senior year. If you're not, then you actually have time to do something about that. All right. So the types of courses you're taking, the level of courses you're taking, and your performance in those courses all matter, even early when you're 14 years old and your parents are driving you to school and you don't have a license. That matters. That determines how good of a college you can get into. An academy is no different. All right. So many folks, give you another example of how this bites people in the butt is many folks assume when they get to high school, they assume it doesn't matter because they're not underclassmen yet. And so they might dink around and get a couple C's. You realize how hard it is when you get a couple C's your freshman year to unearth that, to you're now anchored in your GPA in a certain performance, and now you got to undo that. It's very difficult to undo. So freshmen, the message is keep your eye on the ball and stay focused in the classroom to make sure you stay in the running. All right. Now, if you've gotten a few C's, that's behind you. Nothing you can do about it now. All right. But for those it's in front of them, whether you're, we're doing this in the beginning of spring semester. So whether you're in 8th grade and you're on this call, or whether you're a freshman, all right, everything you do from this point, just know, matters a lot. We know because we see it over and over again with juniors and seniors that had a few regrets their freshman, sophomore year. We don't want that to be you. All right. Number 2 focus area for freshmen, get involved in non-athletics. All right. Every high school has clubs. There's a lot of also outside of school, a lot of community organizations and some great ones out there. The key here is not so much to think about what types of activities just yet, but as a freshman to get involved. All right. Go where you're passionate about and get involved and start trying things out. You don't know until you try. All right. At your freshman year, you can experiment. You still have time. So experiment with things you might be interested in, because later you'll have a time to specialize and be a leader in that activity. But it's very hard to do so unless you're actually a member your freshman year and putting in your time. Put in your time now. All right. And here's how they calculate it. We want you to know that when you get to your junior, senior year, okay, and you complete your applications, okay, for the academy, this is how they're calculating your resume. Every activity, so every non-athletic activity has a certain weight, a certain quantification associated with it. So Eagle Scout is a certain amount of points, right? Being president of your student body has a certain amount of points assigned to it. Okay, being vice president of NHS has a certain amount of points. All your activities that you're involved in have a certain amount of points assigned to them. So therefore, you need to think first, how can I get involved to just get set foot on the path, right? You're not exactly getting those high impact leadership positions like you will when you're a junior, senior now as a freshman, but you need to get on that path by trying things out. Okay. And the last point of emphasis for freshmen is athletics. When you apply, they're going to take your years of varsity letters times your years of varsity team captains times your years of special honors and awards, and they're going to add them up. Okay. So if that's what they're going to do your junior and senior year, then working backwards, this means your freshman year, it is critical to get involved in sports so that you can get started on the path. Because if you don't and you arrive late, it's much more difficult. All right. And this whole webinar is about giving you the upper edge. So even if you don't feel like you're the most athletic and you're like, oh, that's my one weakness, try things. Get out there and try sports. You got 3 seasons. You got the fall, the winter, and the spring. Go on the website for the school, look at all of the sports that are offered, and try things, because that's the point of your freshman year, is to do that. Transitioning into sophomore year. If you are a sophomore, and there are a lot of sophomores on this webinar from what we saw, there are 2 focus areas for you as a sophomore. The first is SAT and ACT prep. Most colleges don't even require the SAT and the ACT anymore. But with the academies, the SAT and ACT are mandatory. We recommend you start prep. So let me back up. If you just Google it right now, if you Google, when should I take the SAT or ACT? Okay, the number 1 answer on Google, you should start taking the SAT or ACT spring semester of your junior year. You should take it twice. Spring semester, that's the first one I saw. Take it spring semester of junior year. If you don't like your score, take it again first semester of your senior year. We do not recommend this for academy applicants. And here's why. One, the academies are mandatory, so it means much more. Two, most high school students do not have all these requirements that you're going to have. Okay? You got a lot going on the fall of your senior year. Just look at all that. Look at all the fitness tests. Look at all the interviews. Look at all the applications that you're going to have to do on top of the normal college applications through the Common App. Okay, this is all extra. All right, that is incredibly stressful. This is the most complex admissions process, hands down, not even close, of any college in the country. Trust us, we've seen them all. We have had clients in the past. We don't do this anymore, but we help them with Ivy League applications. We understand the application process. The application process at the Ivy League schools does not even hold a candle to the academy applications. And so because of that, you need to think ahead more than the average high school student, even probably a year ahead for SAT prep of where most folks are doing. That's why in the sophomore year, we advise summer going into your sophomore year, you start SAT and ACT prep so that you can take the SAT or ACT summer going into your junior year and first semester of your junior year. Why? Because second semester junior year is when you start summer seminar and boys state, girls state applications. Summer seminar asks for a SAT or ACT score. And the better your SAT or ACT score on that summer seminar application, the better chances you have of getting into summer seminar, which then creates momentum for you to get into the academy. So, like I said, having a good SAT or ACT score, a good one that is super scored, one that is taken early and often and been prepared for in advance, not just winged it one time, is going to create momentum for you in this process. All right? So most high school students don't have all these requirements that you're going to have in the fall. And also, Academy super score, and they only look at your highest scores. So you do yourself no harm, only gain by taking it early, taking it often, and taking it serious. The second focus area for sophomores, we believe, is to choose your leadership path. So this is the process by where you've tried things out your freshman year. You've tried out your activities, and now you need to evaluate of all your activities that you've been involved with, where are you going to focus? Where are you going to be a leader your junior, second semester junior, first semester senior year? All right? This is the process by which we suggest you evaluate your activities on 4 measures. The first is your passion. The second is your proficiency. What are you good at? The third is your likelihood of leadership positions in these activities. Okay? And the fourth is most impressive to the academies. Based on those 4 measures, choose your path of where you want to focus. That's sophomore year. Okay? By your junior year, and none of you on this call should be juniors yet, that's where you execute. That's where you take your SAT, ACT. That's where you get into your leadership positions. That's where then you start applying. If you're a junior right now, you start applying for summer seminar. You start applying for boys and girls state. And then the academy, ROTC, and nomination applications open up that summer. All right? Just imagine you having a good SAT score and a bunch of leadership positions before all these applications open. Puts you in a very strong position to have all that behind you and then focus on the applications with a clear mind. With that said, okay, we are going to now transition from the timeline to the most common pitfalls that we believe we see academy underclassmen make. Okay, so common pitfalls, we have 5 of them. All right, now we've done this underclassmen program for several families across the country already. The number one common pitfall is they don't know if they're on track. They either have an overconfident view of themselves because they don't know how competitive it really is, or they have an underconfident view of themselves and their candidacy and are ruling themselves out or even giving up because they don't know how close to the mark they could be with a little bit of help. So our solution for this is in our underclassmen program, we do a 360 assessment on you. We compare you to the typical academy applicant so you can clearly know your strengths and weaknesses and where you are on track and where you are not on track. Number 2 common pitfall is they aren't clear on where they need to go. In our underclassmen program, we create a 360 transformation plan so that you have personalized action steps with clear milestones so you can track your progress as you go. You know exactly what the next step is, by when, you know what to do by when, and you can track it as you go. Okay, so you have clarity and confidence going forward. The number 3 common pitfall: underclassmen waste time and energy on the wrong things, usually because of anxiety. All right, they run around generating lots of activity, doing a lot of different things. It's not focused, it's not clear. They're not even quite sure if it's going to help them, but they're doing a lot of things. They're spending their time in the wrong direction. They might be desperate for the edge, and I commend their passion, but they could have been doing something better with their precious time. All right. Our solution for this is our underclassmen program. We analyze all your activities. Okay. We have tabs in a workbook for you where we analyze every single activity that you're spending your time on. We talk about time management. We discuss at length where you should be focusing your time to give you the best return on investment. Number 4 common pitfall. We're almost done. They procrastinate in taking the first step. I am firsthand. I know what this feels like. I have been guilty of procrastination. I was absolutely the worst of all procrastinators when I was your age. Okay, whether it's fitness, whether it's the SAT, whether it's getting medical records in row for prepared for DODMER, whether it's grades, whether it's projects, whether it's athletics. All right, they procrastinate. In our underclassmen program, our solution for this is we have a structured program that lays out clearly what you should do and then holds you accountable to it. Right? Okay. 5th action step, and we see this a lot on message boards and on social media throughout the country, is they take action on general advice that does not apply to them. With our 360 assessment and our 360 transformation plan, everything is personalized. Everything is catered to you and to your specific situation. And that is really, really important. Okay, not all advice has your name on it. Okay, but I can assure you with Academy Endeavors Underclassmen program, it will. All right, so because of these common pitfalls that we want you to avoid, tonight we said earlier, we're excited to announce the launch of our 2023 Underclassmen program for freshmen and sophomores. Well, we will take 50 underclassmen through an in-depth assessment on you so that you can get on track with clarity and confidence. That is our conclusion. See, now you've seen a timeline and you've seen some common pitfalls to avoid, and now is your chance to get help with that process.